Welcome to our new Retail Razor Show Data Plates, our new standalone Retail Razor Show where we talk real-world numbers and slice through measurable consumer insights based on research at the point of sale. And bringing us the slicing and dicing of data is Georgina Nelson, CEO of TruRating.
TruRating helps retailers hear directly from validated shoppers daily, and recently hit a major milestone of 500 million responses. Retailers using TruRating averaged an 80% response rate on questions asked, made possible by asking a single rotating question directly on the POS pin pad, making it a seamless part of the shopper's checkout experience.
TruRating also works with their retail partners to develop consumer insights reports by running questions on an industry topic or theme. These anonymous responses are linked to metrics such as basket size and repeat visits to produce industry-changing insights like the ones Georgina will share with us today and raise our data plates. I'm your host, Ricardo Belmar.
And I'm your co-host, Casey Golden. Welcome, Georgina.
Thank you both. It's great to be here today.
So today, Retail Razor Data Blades topic is all about consumer sentiment towards self-checkout. Georgina, tell us more.
So imagine you've spent a reasonable amount of time picking out your perfect item, navigating through the aisles, and finally arriving at the checkout counter. And that's when the magic or the mayhem happens. And it's really in those last few moments of that shopping experience that can, make or break your view. So while checking out, your options in many retailers now are self-checkout or cashier. So which do you choose and why? And at TruRating, that's what we really wanted to get under the skin of. And that question sparked our research on customer sentiment towards self-checkout. So we asked, what do you like best about self-checkout? 65% of the shoppers answered less wait time, 20% that they can check the prices, and 15% answered that they can scan at their own pace. It sounds like a no-brainer, but the biggest perk that consumers really value when it comes to self-checkout is the speed and that convenience. It's about that swift and seamless transaction and that final sprint to the finish line. So it's vital that retailers really pull out all the stops to actually ensure that they're delivering on that. And that this point of the consumer journey is quick and smooth.
Wow. Well, this is a really interesting one to me because I have to say, if I were the consumer answering the question, I probably would have looked for the choice that says nothing really, because I'm not personally a fan of most self-checkout systems. But it's interesting that you found that speed was the number one choice, because that's probably my complaint about self-checkout systems that don't work well. It's because they didn't let me get through checkout faster because something went wrong. And somehow I always seem to have the ability to find that one item in the store that as soon as you get to the self-checkout, this just has no way to scan. It doesn't work. And until you get someone to come by and reset the system or take something to it, it will not let you check out. And of course, that's the opposite of speed and convenience, right?
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. I mean, I'm never a big proponent of transferring work from paid employees to unpaid customers or taking a smile away when I had a chance to make somebody smile before they walk out the door. But this is nothing new. It's never going to go away. It's really about how we adapt self-checkout into our customer journey and our customer experience. Self-checkout dates all the way back to the Piggly Wiggly with the first self-service supermarket back in the 1900s. So however we look at it, it's been here, it's going to stay, but really understanding how customers are using it and how brands can adjust, I think, is a really key point into really asking customers what they think about it. Are they enjoying it? Do they like it? A lot of stores I've heard are almost, I think I heard some type of stat that like 55% of all sales last year went through a self-checkout.
That's a big number.
It's a big number. It wasn't me.
Well, so I'm also curious about the second number, Georgina, you gave, the 20% that said they could check prices. So I have to think, if I'm the retailer and I'm hearing you report these insights back to them, is that making me think that maybe I need to have that ability to check prices at scattered throughout the store. To me, my best example is Target, right? Target has all these price check stations all over the store where you can just go and scan something if all you need to know is check the price. I would think that that's 1/5 of your responses are saying, I could check the prices first. So I assume that means if I'm one of those shoppers and I didn't know the price, didn't realize it was going to be, maybe I decided not to buy that item when I got to the self-checkout. And I suppose from a mentality perspective, that probably makes that customer feel better. They can just put it aside than having had to have done that with the cashier and then felt like they're telling the cashier, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to buy that. Can you not include that in my purchase?" It's a little more awkward that way. So I could see how that would be an appeal. But I'm curious, do you think retailers would use that kind of information and then say, "Oh, maybe I need to do something else in the store now that I know 20% of my customers want this information"?
Yeah, it's the time of experimentation, I think, for a lot of retailers. Like innovation is on an all-time high. And especially with TruRating, we can do A/B tests, rolling something new out in store A, keeping store B constant and seeing how that impacts customer experience, how much they pay and how often they return. And when we have shared some of this self-checkout research, some of it can be pretty damning. Customer experience can plummet often. And so it's really to a retailer, okay, so when we know that that's a risk, what can we do to try and support the customer at that last point in the journey and make it a better experience? So we've worked with retailers testing out assisted self-checkout. So employing someone with the mandate to stand at those banks, smile, make sure consumers can find that barcode that they know how to scan. And that's been really beneficial, and they've seen the uptick in customer experience down to that.
That A/B testing I can see very valuable. I have a feeling that we are going to see more advertisements at self-checkout in the near future. It'll be much more common that we're going to have to watch an ad before we can swipe our card. And I think TruRating will be providing some critical data on that sentiment change.
You cannot wait to feed back with your views on that. Yeah.
I hope every single retailer that is planning on putting ads on those screens is already a TruRating customer.
Exactly.
And if not, there's still time. Call me.
There is still time. This is great, Georgina. Thank you so much for joining us today's Retail Razor Data Blades.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to the next.
If you enjoyed our show, please consider giving us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Good Pods. Remember to smash that subscribe button in your favorite podcast player and tune in on YouTube so you don't miss a minute. I'm your co-host, Casey Golden.
Please share your feedback with us on Twitter at KCCGolden, Ricardo_Belmar, and at Retail Razor, or find us on LinkedIn, Threads, and Instagram. For the best highlights from each episode shipped straight to your inbox, subscribe to our Substack newsletter for full episode transcripts and bonus content. I'm your host, Ricardo Belmar.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, keep cutting through the clutter and stay sharp. This is the Retail Razor Data Blades.